All right, so I got the most random suggestion. I guess it's not random because this happened in my state. It has to do with the NBA. And as y'all know, the Denver Nuggets ripped off the famous Criminals logo. Then the LGBT community decided to take the rainbow and make it their own thing. Then God, who must be a fan of famous criminals, he turned rainbows into a real thing. And sometimes you see them outside. And I'm working on suing all these people. But someone suggested I talk about Ja Morant. Some people want to make it out of the hood, move to the suburbs where people go jogging, walk their golden retrievers, go to Starbucks, Target, Whole Foods. Ja Morant wants to make it into the hood, where there's gangs, gun stores, liquor stores, public housing, and public schools.
Skip. But when does this game get fucking good?
This dude is from Dalzell, South Carolina. It's a middle-income town, and it's mostly white people. Both of Ja's parents attended college, universities, and both of them stayed together while he was growing up. He had a pretty decent upbringing. This fool went to college for basketball and was eventually drafted into the NBA, second overall. Ja had a 4-year contract with the Grizzlies worth $39 million, and that's hella money. He's a good player though, and he eventually became a 2-time All-Star, which means he's like top 30 best in the world. Ja was able to score another contract for $193 million. And as we all know, rich people don't have any problems. Once you have money, you're just happy, 24/7, nothing goes wrong, it's just smooth sailing. Despite being really talented, this guy is a complete fucking idiot who is throwing away his opportunities and developing a reputation as a violent person. Let me explain. He's not from the hood, but after watching the movie Friday and playing GTA, he decided he wanted to act hood. Last year, he was playing pickup basketball with a fucking 17-year-old. I guess this kid was playing aggressive, so Ja punched the 17-year-old, knocking him to the ground, and struck the kid a few times when he was down. Instead of fleeing the scene like a fucking adult, he went to go get his gun, just in time for the cops to come. It's not unusual for pickup games to end with fights, especially if there's drinking involved. The fact that he knocked the kid out and then came back with the gun so he can further intimidate the dude, that is stupid, reckless behavior. If he wasn't a super rich NBA player, then he probably would have spent time in jail. There was another incident where he was threatening mall security and he's gotten into some minor altercations on the court. You can see there's a little scuffle between these two, happens all the time. And after the game, Morant's entourage started aggressively confronting members of the Pacers, supposedly pointing a laser at the bus they believed was attached to a gun. The security guard for the Pacers later did confirm it was definitely a gun. So even though this dude came from a nice area, attended a good college, and had a solid career, he acts like a gangster. It's definitely proof that you choose your own life sometimes. And this is where I come in with a different opinion. The team he plays for, the Memphis Grizzlies, the GMs, owners, they definitely know how he is and they embrace it. The fact that he intimidates other players, has a posse of 9 people in the stands, the Grizzlies want to be an intimidating team. They got another guy named Dylan Brooks who kicks people in the nuts and does dirty plays. This team isn't afraid to get their hands dirty, to get physical.
Hey, get the bottle. Get the bottle. Hey, pass him the bottle, bro. Hey, pass that midget the bottle, bro.
And even though Ja is a grown man and makes decisions on his own, his team enables his behavior. It's not uncommon for GMs to try to create the most intimidating team possible. There were the Bad Boy Pistons, the Denver Thuggets, where every player on the team had a criminal record. It's intentional. But back to Ja. These are early signs of him being a jackass. I guess what he did last Saturday was the one thing that took it too far. He was in Denver playing a game, and they don't allow guns in the arena. You have to go through a metal detector. It's a policy that you can't have a gun when you're traveling with the team. After the game, Morant went to a strip club called Shotgun Willie's, and I know exactly where that is, though I've never been inside it. Sometimes high-profile people go to strip clubs because you usually aren't allowed to take pictures, you can have a little bit of privacy, and plus these women are pretty much hookers. You can bring one home, bust a few nuts, and then kick them out, send them back to the streets. It's easier than dealing with NBA groupies like Selena Powell or Brittany Renner. Those girls will try to take pictures with you, they might jack you, try to expose you, and it's definitely harder to kick them out. Strippers don't talk too much, so that's why these athletes go after them, especially if they have wives or girlfriends that they're cheating on. Just a little bit of insight. Now, while he was at Shotgun Willie's, he went on Instagram Live and he waved a gun for the camera, and because of this, he has been suspended for an unknown number of games. There are rumors that he might be gone for the rest of the year. A few thoughts. Hopefully he has a safety on when he's getting a lap dance, and what is he expecting at the strip club where he needs a gun? Ja thinks he's like Tupac Shakur, like he has ops in Denver just planning on ways to kill him. On second thought, I guess anyone who wears jewelry is a target for robbery. I kinda understand why he would carry a gun, but I don't know what he's trying to accomplish by showing it on camera.
It was a bad choice. It was a bad decision. You know, we have to stop, look in the camera and says, we have to stop putting ourselves in positions to where they could take away what we've worked so hard to get to. You should always believe in a higher power. I've always had the ability to stop time and say, if I do this, what's going to be the outcome? There's no excuse for what he did. But remember, he pressed a button on his phone. He went live. We don't go live, nobody knows he has a weapon, we're not talking about this, but he did that. And, you know, why are you in the strip club with no shirt? Why are you walking around with a weapon? And why'd you hit the live button? So we have to stop putting ourselves in positions to where they can take away the things that we work hard to get for.
He wants to have a gangster image, and he's accomplished that. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of his career. And personally, I have mixed feelings. That is, I don't really give a shit if he carries guns and takes pictures with it. It's trashy to flash it on camera, but I don't think his right to do that should be taken away. The NBA wants a squeaky, clean image, and I guess they can't have players beating up kids, acting like gangsters, because there's a lot of families who go to these games. These players are seen as role models, and incidents like this damage the reputation of the NBA. It's bad for business. And I'll put it like this. Let's just say you work an office job and somebody sends your manager a picture of you holding a gun at a strip club. You'll either get fired or they'll make you remove the picture. Now, there's a lot of suburban moms out there that might say something along the lines of, oh, the NBA is too thuggish for me. You hear about the guy with the gun at the strip club, and guns have become a touchy subject. A year ago, I had a video get age restricted. I didn't know why at first, but then it happened again. It was because the thumbnail had a gun in it. We're getting to the point in American culture where everything involving guns becomes R-rated. Now, let me get super political here. In 2022, 20,138 people died from gun violence in the U.S. Yes, it is a problem. But what if I told you there are more important issues? Fentanyl has killed over 100,000 people in 2022. And to my surprise, alcohol has killed 140,000 people. And the NBA isn't against alcohol. A player can post a picture with a beer and it'd be fine. They serve beer at the arenas. These teams are sponsored by beer companies. Even though alcohol kills way more people than guns. You might be saying, oh, you could drink responsibly, so you don't think you can own a gun responsibly? And heart disease kills 647,000 Americans every year. It's the leading cause of death in the US. Now, what's the main cause of heart disease? Poor diet, cheeseburgers. An additional 70,000 people die a year from diabetes too. I'm not saying we should ban alcohol or cheeseburgers. I'm just saying that gun violence is sensationalized while more serious issues are ignored. It's selective outrage. You don't want to encourage people to exercise and eat healthy because that might hurt their feelings. It's easier to go after guns. And some people say you don't need guns, you could just call the police. But what if I need a gun to protect myself from the police? That's another thing. Cops can carry guns everywhere they go, but regular people can't. It's like trashy if the average Joe does it. I'm getting a little sidetracked, but the main point I'm trying to make is that I don't give a shit that Ja Morant flashed a gun on camera. I understand they suspended him for business reasons. If I were him, I'd pull the "I'm trying to protect myself" angle. It's my Second Amendment right. This isn't Germany. We're supposed to have rights here. I don't know if this is a double standard or if times have changed, but back in 2006, an NFL player named Aqib Talib accidentally shot himself in the leg outside of a strip club. He didn't get in any trouble though. But anyway, guys, what do you think about guns? Let me know. I'm out.